You read the title right. I'm moving already. So join me on my moving process. We are currently on our way to go see the apartment for the first time since touring it, like before I applied for it. I'm excited. Welcome to the new space. It's kind of crazy. I don't know if you can hear how echoey it is because it's empty. But let's just do like a little overview right now. You'll definitely get more familiar with this within the duration of this video. Big kitchen to start with. I really like that there's this emptiness on top because I don't think they'll do well there, but I want to stick some plants up there. And there's just like a ton of storage in the kitchen, which is gonna be so helpful. And this, I've always dreamt of having one of these. My family never had an ice maker. My current apartment doesn't have like that kind of like water dispenser ice maker, and like to me that is perfect. Perfect. We have like a loft space, which is so cool. Over here we have a little balcony, and this is the first bathroom. I'm so excited to have 2 bathrooms. Oh my gosh. Now we're going upstairs. I'm so excited to have this whole closet and all this storage. The master bedroom and the big bathroom. It kind of like opens into the bedroom. This is a nice walk-in closet. I'm so excited to organize it. That's our little rundown. We're gonna be back here bright and early tomorrow to start moving in, which is crazy. Hi guys, it's the next day and we just started packing our cars to do our first big move of stuff. It was actually much worse than this before, so we were actually making progress. Had quite a day already. Now we took a little break, a little snack break, but we're back at it. And I'm gonna do a little bit of cleaning, and I kind of like moved boxes around. We're doing our like big move later this month with all the furniture, and like, you know, people are gonna be in and out, and we're still wearing shoes inside. So we're not doing our deep cleaning right now. I'm just gonna do some like random cleaning, maybe clean out the cabinets a little bit so that I can start putting like cups and dishes away and stuff like that, like the little things. I look insane. Look at the makeshift duster I just made. It is almost 7 p.m. and we're still here. Alex has been working very, very hard on his assignment, which is the move-in inspection, which he's much better at those things than me. So I was on duty to pick up dinner. This is actually my first time trying Mendocino Farm. Cute, because it's our first meal here.
I know.
It's really like saucy. That's pretty good.
Mm.
I don't know when I'm gonna be uploading this, but it was just Easter, so it was a pretty busy weekend, but we were able to move a lot of stuff on Saturday. It's Monday now. The Plan is to continue packing stuff throughout the week and hopefully just bring as much over to the new apartment as we can during the week until next Saturday when we have more time to do as much moving stuff as we could. Forgot if I said this while I was there, but we were doing more of like the move-in inspection and some cleaning and a little bit of unboxing, so it wasn't just like moving a bunch of stuff. We're also limited on boxes, but as you can see behind me, I got more boxes. So let's fill these boxes. I'm hoping to make a small trip tomorrow. Honestly, guys, like a lot, like, oh my gosh, this wall that was completely full has been mostly taken down, and it's kind of sad. Like everything in the hallways has kind of been taken down, like most of the frames, but this is the one section where like I feel like once I take it down, it's really gonna hit that I'm leaving this space. The way I still left it all up, so every time I film, because I usually film with this background, like you can't even tell that we're moving because it's pretty much all here minus this little section, but I pretty much cleaned out all the other decor, so I think I need to take some of these things down, even though it's gonna make me sad, but I need to, because I need to empty everything out so that I can start like taking the nails out. Oh my gosh, I don't even want to think about filling the nail holes. The move is feeling so much more real because my shelves are empty. Okay, not completely empty because I can't reach the stuff up here, but empty for the most part. The craziest part though is that my leaves, they were up here and they were being held down by like a little pot. I can't fully see what's going on, but I don't know if there's like sap in the plant or something, but it's like actually stuck. It's like glued on, so yeah. That's interesting. Hi guys, we're taking a little bit of a break from all the moving stuff and we are doing a little knit and chat because we need a little break. It's been kind of non-stop packing, and then the days we're not packing, we're moving stuff, and then the days we're not doing that, it's just busy. So it's nice to get a little time to catch up here. And I thought it would be fun to talk about some of the crafts that I want to do once we finally finish all the moving stuff. It's kind of like my motivation, to be honest, because I have so many things saved in my brain, so many things saved on Pinterest that I want to make for this new space, and I feel like anytime you're moving, it's kind of just like a refresh. And so of course I'm gonna think of some new things that I want to make by hand to make the place feel special, but at the same time it's also so nice to have just like a clean slate to kind of decorate it, I guess, with fresh eyes. So I've been coming up with some new crafts. I feel like my style, or like my intention for the way that I'm gonna decorate this second place, is a little bit different than what I was going for here, so I think that will be kind of interesting to see how like they turn out. I mean, like obviously I'm bringing all the stuff from this apartment to the new one, so I think it'll be interesting to see if it looks like carbon copy or if I make it look a little different. I honestly haven't made a lot of plans yet just because I've been so busy just moving stuff and trying to get that done with and working and adjusting there, and so I haven't been fantasizing as much about the apartment as I wish I could. But I did in fact make a list of things that I want to make at some point while I'm there, and these are just like the top priorities, I would say, because I know that this list is gonna grow, and just like all of my crafting lists, I'm sure what I end up making is not gonna really follow this list, but I think this is a good starting point. So I'm excited to share it a little bit, and I love talking about crafting plans. You guys know that. So here are a couple of the things that I want to make at some point after the move. I have to look at my list. I can't even remember. Okay, so this one was like the first thing that came to mind because I think it's the most unique, but I'm actually not super sure if I'm actually gonna do it, just because, I don't know, I think it's super cool, but part of me is like, it's kind of a lot of work and I don't know if I'll get sick of it. I don't know, it's definitely a statement, but it is this kind of crocheted sleeve, I guess, to go over a lamp. And I've seen different types of crochet with lamps, but this one I thought was cool just because, I don't know, I've never seen something like this before. I think it'd be really cool to kind of like incorporate beads And then also I already have like pretty much this exact lamp. So I feel like that was kind of a sign and I could totally make that lamp more unique. But then at the same time, I don't know if that's too statement, too messy. I don't know. I also don't know how long it'll take. It looks like it'll take a long time. Tell me if I'm making a mistake with that one or if it's actually cool. I have like 8% left on my battery and I'm gonna try to get through my list before my camera dies. Can she do it? Probably not because I talk a lot. Next, I said I want to crochet or sew curtains. Originally, I really wanted to live in an apartment that had like windows in the kitchen so I could do little cafe curtains, like half windowsill curtains, if you know what I'm talking about, because I think those are, one, so cute, but also easier to make because it's just less area. I feel like it would also be nice because it's just less messy, I guess, especially because I was kind of thinking about like filet crochet or granny square or patchwork type of curtains, and I feel like if you do a tall window with all of that, it can be kind of too much work and just too much in general. Yeah, so I'm not super sure, but I definitely want to try hand making some kind of curtains, but then it's kind of like, where do you stop? Like, do you hand make all the curtains? Like, you probably want them to kind of match, right? I don't know yet. But I do really love the patchwork hand sewn ones. I think they're really pretty. I also love the idea of crochet ones, whether it's filet or if it's squares, but it does seem like, once again, a lot of work. But if it's something I'm gonna like for a long time and take with me to all the future places, then I feel like it would be totally worth it. I also said crochet blanket, which is one that I already started. I was a little insane. I kind of wanted to finish it before moving, which is so silly to think you could finish a crochet blanket while you're in the process of moving, because it's not happening, I can tell you that. But I'm considering this decor because I did kind of want to display my crochet blankets and all the future ones that I make on a like blanket ladder or some kind of display, so it's kind of like wall decor. I hate to be so honest about this, but part of the reason is because I don't use my crochet blankets that much, so I feel like if they're at least displayed, I will feel a little bit better. Next, I said filet crochet wall art. I've been seeing so much inspo for this and I think it's so gorgeous. Funny that I have so much filet crochet inspo when I have never tried doing filet crochet. This isn't really craft in itself, but I really want to have a swatch board, and I feel like it is kind of decor in its own way, and I just love how these look. I didn't have room for one at my current apartment, and to be honest, I don't really do swatches, so I feel like this would be a good motivation for me to actually make swatches. Once again, this isn't really a specific DIY, but I really want to have, I already have a clothing rack, but I want to set up the clothing rack and have some kind of like shelf that has all of my handmade items so that's all in one place, and I can kind of like, maybe I'd be more intentional about wearing them and styling them if I could just go to one section and pick it out. And then the last thing I want to make is more of a thrift flip. It's the way I'm hoping to do it, but I've been loving little touches of chrome. I feel like I did that a little bit in this apartment, but I want to add a little bit more of that in the next one. And I love how these mismatch like chrome frames with pops of color look. And I think it would be so easy to make if you just thrift some frames, thrift some fabric, and then use your own personal photos. I feel like it is such a nice kind of like statement art, and so I definitely want to do this somewhere, somehow, not sure how yet. And I feel like with the thrift flip ideas, you kind of just have to see, you know, you have to wait and see until you get lucky at the thrift store. So I don't know how long these ones will take, but I'll just have to keep my eye out. So we're back at the apartment. It's like a week, I don't know the last time I filmed, but it's been about a week since we started moving things in here. You can't really tell because I started to kind of like disperse stuff into different rooms, but we did move a good amount of stuff, I feel like, over the past weekend and throughout the week. Today, we're just doing more of that, trying to get as much done as we can. Can you tell from what's behind me? I feel like we're doing kind of good. I don't really know. Today, we made a little pit stop because, oh my gosh, I put this in the freezer for like 15 minutes and it's actually like solid, but I got coffee. Like kind of drink it. Today we actually don't have that much time because we have somewhere to be at like 6. So we're gonna try to get as much done as we can. We already moved some stuff over from one trip here, but we definitely need to make some more clothing trips. But it's a little weird because I have like a month of crossover with the 2 apartments, and so it's like I kind of need everything still to live at my other apartment. So it's kind of weird, but we got it. I feel like I'm kind of on track. I don't really know. Hello and happy Sunday. We are on day, I don't know what day of moving. On to some furniture, but look at this. Alex took down these shelves and moved them yesterday, and now this is our wall decor, which is kind of crazy. Like, it's so empty over here. We know what we're doing. We're seasoned movers. Promise our other packing finished trunks looked better than this. Look at this big, huge mess that Alex packed.
They're gonna think we're not efficient packers.
We're not efficient packers. You should see the way I pack the trunk. It's very efficient. Hi friends, I'm gonna end off the video here. I've actually forgot to film an outro. I feel like it's been a while since I forgot to do that, but with how hectic it's been with moving, I feel like that definitely makes sense. Make sure to stay tuned for the official move in, which will be coming soon within the next couple of videos. But other than that, of course, we'll be doing more crafting, more life updates, and everything else once we actually finish moving there. So thank you guys so much for joining me for the journey. I'm so excited to be sharing it with you and that we got so much done in this video. See you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.